So we can also see the naturalization of things like ethnicity, class, and caste. And this happens much the same way that we see the naturalization of race in various cultures. Okay, so it's important to remember that race and ethnicity are two distinct terms and concepts. So ethnicity, defined by your book, are people who share many of the same cultural features. Okay, these generally belong to belonging to a group with a particular history or social status. Okay, and these cultural traits can be language, dialect, clothing, foodways, body modification, tradition, things like that. Okay, so ethnicity are cultural features, and race is a subgroup who share a greater number of physical traits within the group than outside of the group. Okay, so this organizes people based on physical characteristics. So the difference there being cultural or what we consider physical characteristics, differentiating between ethnicity and race. But the process of making these things feel real and natural is the same as how it works with race. It's all the same process of naturalization. So if we want to talk about social stratification, and this is going to be chapter 11 in your textbook, okay, we're going to be talking about things like class and caste as well. Okay, and so a few ways we can think about social stratification are through wealth, power, and prestige. So wealth being the material objects that have value within a society. In the Western world, we tend to think about those things as wages or property, but it can also be things like land or cattle or a home or anything like that. So it doesn't have to be monetary. It's just material objects that might have value in a society. So you can accumulate wealth that way. And then this will provide a basis for creating stratification within a society, dividing people into those that have more wealth or those that have less wealth. The next way we can talk about social stratification or just differentiation between a society is through power. Okay, power being defined as the capacity to produce intended effects for oneself, other people, within social situations or in the environment. Okay, so power and wealth don't always go hand in hand. Okay, your book gives a nice example of specialized knowledge determining power, but you could have zero land or zero cattle, but have a lot of specialized knowledge, and this would give you a lot of power in your community. Lastly, we have prestige, which is based on social honor or respect within a community. This comes from norms and values in a culture, and again is not related to the others. You can have a lot of wealth but zero prestige. You can have a lot of wealth and power but zero prestige, or you can have a lot of prestige and none of the others. Okay, so these are just three different ways in which we can measure social stratification, and each plays a different role or has a different emphasis in different types of societies. So we've got three different types of societies mentioned. So egalitarian, ranked society, or stratified society. Egalitarian, this is going to be few differences in status, wealth, or power. Okay, so there's a high value on sharing. You'll often see this with hunter-gatherer communities. Okay, so we're not focusing on differences in wealth or power or status. Okay, in ranked societies, you have an unequal access to prestige and status, but not to wealth and power. So you might have someone who's more prestigious than others, but they share wealth and power equally. Okay. In stratified societies like the United States, you've got considerable inequality in all forms, so in terms of wealth, power, and prestige. Okay, and so in this society, this is going to be the most stratified and have the most inequality.